when we're looking at addiction, we can help people to, first of all, get into a physiological state where they're not so stressed out about, whether it be giving up, cocaine, cigarettes, whatever it might be, whatever the addiction is. We can help with that because it's all a mindset, and it's about training the brain to think differently. So, and then of course, the main thing that we find with BrainTap is people think better, they sleep better, and then they perform better. Those are the key things that most people report back, but then you can get very specific if you want. You can improve your golf game. Like I'm producing a program right now for the Northwestern women's hockey team, which we helped make it to the Final Four last year. So we do a lot of things out there, from sports to self-improvement.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Wendy Myers. Welcome to the Myers Detox Podcast. So today we've got a great show, and every week I bring you experts from around the world to help to up-level your health, upgrade your mental health, and help you learn more about detoxification as well. And today we're going to be talking about, with Patrick Porter, how to tap into your brain's unlimited potential. So many people today have disorganized brains. They have a lot of stress, they're bombarded with EMF, they're not getting enough sleep, their diets are less than subpar. And so there's a lot of things working against proper brain function. This is everyone's worst fears. It's their brains aren't working, they may move into dementia, or that they just they're not able to learn as well as they can, to memorize facts as well as they could, learning about health, or they're in school or in work, or they're just not able to perform at the level that they know that they're capable of. And so Patrick Porter has been studying this for his entire life, and he has an amazing device called the BrainTap. There's an app that you can download for free, that BrainTap app, and you can start using some of the programs there. But the magic really happens with his different like lights and sounds that are emitted by a headset that he developed that you can use in tandem with all the different programs in the apps. So we talk about how BrainTap can dramatically improve your sleep, your energy levels, even your sports performance, and reduce your stress levels. There are so many different benefits to this technology. This is a very, very interesting show if you want to learn about how to improve your brain. And I know you guys listening to this podcast, you want to know how to detox your body, like what metals you have, what toxins are affecting your body and your brain, and how to detox them. That's why you're listening to this show. So I created a quiz at heavymetalsquiz.com. It takes 2 seconds to take, based on some lifestyle questions, so lifestyle factors in your life, what your relative body burden level of toxins are. And after you take the quiz and get your results, you get a free video series on how to detox your body, the do's and don'ts of detox, what supplements you need to detox, how long does it take to detox, and all about heavy metals testing. Lots of really good info after you take the quiz at heavymetalsquiz.com. Our guest today, Dr. Patrick Porter, he's a PhD and he's an award-winning author, speaker, and the founder of BrainTap. And it's the leader in technology-enhanced meditation. And Dr. Porter pioneered the use of brainwave entrainment to improve mental clarity, sleep, and energy, and remains at the forefront of scientific research. He founded BrainTap with the goal of making his technology accessible to everyone. And BrainTap offers over 2,000 original audio sessions in 12 languages and serves a worldwide user base with its mobile app and headset. Dr. Porter has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, People, Entrepreneur, Inc., and on ABC, NBC, and CBS as an expert in brain health and wellness. And in 2020, Dr. Porter received the IAF NR Lifetime Achievement Award. You can learn more about Patrick and his work at braintap.com. Patrick, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about your BrainTap technology. So how did you develop this technology?
Well, it's kind of a lifelong pursuit, even when I did it at 26 years old, because my dad was a what's called a Silva method instructor, and he taught us how to do meditation using technology, the technology of sound. They call it the Silva sound. And so that kind of started my journey at 12 years old. And I created my very first session at that time. And then I got into doing psychology, and then I started a franchise company, and I needed a piece of equipment that I could use in my company. And so I invented this to help people to, first of all, get rid of pain, but now we know it helps in a lot of different ways than that.
And so how does this differ from, say, like meditation apps?
Well, the biggest difference is meditation apps take effort. Only 5% of people that start meditating actually continue meditating, which I think is a sad statistic. And what we do is with the protocol, the light, sound, and vibration protocol, the listener of BrainTap simply needs to relax back. You can be sitting in a chair. If you want to get in the full lotus position or something, you can do that. But most people just lay down on their bed or in a comfortable chair, put the equipment on, and they're going to go to the same brain state as someone who's a practicing meditator for 20 to 30 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And what are some of the other benefits? So we know there's a lot of benefits to meditation, but what are some of the benefits that we get from BrainTap?
Well, the reason it was actually created was pain control. This was before the opioids made their hit on the market. This was in the 80s, and people were looking for solutions to pain. And we know that if we can lower a brainwave called beta, which is where the anxiety and stress resides, you can increase your capacity to handle pain and even eliminate it. I personally went through pain-free surgery without any anesthetic. So there are ways to do it. That's one. So we have a pain-free lifestyle series. There's over 47 different ones, so I'm not going to mention them all. I'll just mention a few of the big ones. Weight loss is a big one. When they featured us in People magazine, we had helped over 100 people take half their weight off and keep it off for more than 5 years. We could have given them more, but that's all we sent them. Because when you get your nervous system back online, which is what meditation does, you actually increase your metabolism. And now we have technology that can actually measure it. We also work with a lot with addictions because that was my background before I got into this. I wrote the programs for DUIs for the state of Arizona. So when we're looking at addiction, we can help people to, first of all, get into a physiological state where they're not so stressed out about, whether it be giving up, cocaine, cigarettes, whatever it might be, whatever the addiction is. We can help with that because it's all a mindset, and it's about training the brain to think differently. So, and then of course, the main thing that we find with BrainTap is people think better, they sleep better, and then they perform better. Those are the key things that most people report back, but then you can be very specific if you want. You can improve your golf game. Like I'm producing a program right now for the Northwestern women's hockey team, which we helped make it to the Final Four last year. So we do a lot of things out there from sports to self-improvement.
And I've seen you at a lot of biohacking conferences. There's like all kinds of biohackers coming up to your booth to try to do some brain tapping.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think that people, because what we're doing is we're actually imitating a cycle of sleep. We can liken the physiological effect of a 20-minute brain tap session to a 4-hour power nap. But instead of waking up groggy, we're going to wake you up in the proper brainwave state. So you have the energy. We call it digital coffee because you'll wake up and it'll be calm energy, hopefully, and you'll be able to just start your day without having to kickstart it with caffeine.
Yeah. And so what drew you to this area to help people with biohacking their brain and brain tapping their brain?
Mm-hmm. Well, it happened with me first. I was held back in second grade. I always thought Sister Barbara just wanted me in her class an extra year, but I wasn't stupid. I wouldn't say that. And I could learn, but I didn't have any patience. I wanted to be an artist. So all I did was daydream and do my art. And then my dad taught me that he actually taught me to do it for sports first. And then I noticed because I was building my concentration and focus in something I like to do, it crossed over into school. And then I thought, wow, my first book was called Awaken the Genius, because I believe every person out there has a genius potential. Just got to find out what that is. And that's what happened with me. I found out that I could flip the switch in my brain and be Patrick the learner, and then I could still flip the switch back and be Patrick the artist. I didn't have to be one or the other. And when you're 8 or 9 years old, you can't really discern that. So I was struggling a little bit. So we got first into this for helping people with accelerated learning. And then it went into addictions like weight loss and stop smoking and alcohol and things of that nature.
So what conditions and like other conditions and situations can like sound healing and binaural beats and, isochronic tones and phantom beats help with? And what are these exactly? How do they relate to brain tapping?
Right. Well, one thing is that some people would say we're sound, and some people say we're light. Some people say we're frequency. The reality is we're light, sound, and frequency. So anything that you find stresses you out, or you don't perform at your peak because you haven't practiced or rehearsed it because of stress. If stress makes your problem worse, then we can probably help it. That's one of the people say, well, BrainTap help that. I say, well, do you find that you don't sleep as well if you're a little stressed out? Well, then we could probably help, because we're going to offload that stress and you can sleep in the night. These sounds work because our ears actually process 25,000 pieces of information every second. If you and I were in a restaurant and having dinner and just having a great conversation, and then somebody 2 tables over said biohacking, because you and I both know what that means, we would hear that word. We wouldn't hear the rest of their conversation, but we'd hear that word. Or if it's a sports team in the area or something like that, we would hear that, because our reticular activating system is always listening. Now, most of the noise, it just kind of filters out. It's kind of like living next to a paper mill, unfortunately. If you've ever been near one, they smell, and you might be I remember a friend of mine lived near one. I said, how can you stand living? He goes, I don't even smell it, because the nervous system is really good at identifying what could be a danger, but then as soon as it's not a danger anymore, it kind of puts it in the safe category and you don't recognize it. So what we did with these sounds is we need to create a very specific rhythm and cadence to these sounds. And you can't listen to the same one more than 3 times in a row. Like some people do these on YouTube and they go, these binaural beats don't work. Well, yeah, because you're listening to the same binaural beat. There's a reason we have over 2,000 sessions, because we need to train the brain in all these different areas. So for instance, a binaural beat is you would put this is just one example. It's not the complete answer, but we'd put 300 hertz in one ear and 310 in the other ear. Your brain would actually hear a phantom sound of 10 hertz. This 10 hertz, the brain would then identify. And because we have what they're called mirror neurons in the brain, and we have cilia on the brain that's like hair follicles, that's always measuring the frequency of the world around us. For instance, just use light as an example because it's easier. When somebody takes a bath with a candle or meditates to a candle, they don't realize what they're doing is they're meditating to 10 hertz frequency, because all fires burn at 10 cycles. So there's a flickering to that light, right? And that's what makes us relaxed and calm, whether we're looking at a campfire or a candle. And the brain matches that frequency. So we can do it with light, but we can also do it with sound. Sound was easier because back before 1985, there were really no commercially available LEDs. So we couldn't do this before that. And then the microprocessor came out, and we used to build these in our back office before we went into production. And so when we're building them, we're actually imitating a candle. But what we noticed was, if we had sound with the light, we could guide the brain into any brainwave state we wanted, from taking them into deep delta for deep sleep with sound. So, and then remember I was telling you about the 2 ears and how